speaking to you once again, the co-founder and CEO of Job and Hub. And today I'm coming at you job seekers who are just about to graduate from university, whether it be undergrad or masters, either one. But it's applicable to anybody who's near the end. And when you're nearing the end of an education, there's a lot of hawks out there. Okay, there's a lot of eagles who are looking for the right opportunity. They're looking for a student who's about to graduate because there's a few certain things which put them at an advantage if they have human resource like you. First of all, it's cheap human resource, right? You guys have just graduated, you have no experience whatsoever, or if you do, it's probably an internship or something. And banks and progressive organizations are looking for, say for example, a management trainee or another intern position, which would allow them to get the most amount of work done by spending the least amount of money. That's their technique, right? So they go around and they try to establish relationships with different universities, and there's many different internship programs where there's direct affiliation with between universities and corporations. And they basically get the access of getting the best kinds of interns. But today we're not talking about interns, we're talking about how to ensure a job before even graduating. Okay, so how do you do this as a student? Well, there's certain things that are in your hands and certain things that aren't in your hands. So what do you offer as a student? You're young and you have a fresh mind, you're cheap human resource, and there's room for development. You're young and you have a fresh mind. This is very important for progressive organizations because they recognize that once somebody has been in the workforce for a long time, their mind becomes rigid and dogmatic, and whatever they've learned in their previous experiences, like say for example a 40-year-old guy who's worked at a bank for 20 years, this guy, he's accustomed to certain routines and regimes and culture and standard operating procedures. Well, these are not in a young person's mind, right? They just graduated, all they have is the book theory, and they're looking for a place to apply this practically. So these progressive organizations understand this, they want to utilize it. And that brings us to the next point, which is there's room for development. So this is, this eagle or this hawk is banks and progressive organizations which have caught on to the new trend of hiring new and young human resources. This is you, and you are currently inside the university. Now, when you're in a university, there's very little you can do to prove your job experience, unless you have had job experience while pursuing the degree, which I commend personally, because that's a lot of work. So most of the time there's zero job experience apart from like an internship or something. The education, what is in your hands? CGPA, degree, and university, right? Now, a lot of the times, a lot of big banks and stuff like that, they filter out people who don't have a degree from certain universities. So that's actually a bad hiring bias. We want to get rid of that in Job and Hub. So for job seekers, especially university students, we've provided this extra facility where you can add your extracurricular activities. And skills and extracurricular activities are very closely linked because employers will be looking at the skills that you have, obviously, or claim to have, and then see, okay, what exposure do they actually have in this field. Now, if you claim that you're good at digital marketing and you run a charity thing, then that's not going to really prove much in your skills, right? Like, fine, you're saying you can do SEO, you're saying you can do Google Analytics, that you can do social media marketing campaigns and stuff, but in reality, your only experience is that you have like a charity event or like a football event or something like that. But say for example, if for a football event you had to do marketing to attract people, you can showcase that, right? Similarly, what else can you put in extracurricular? You can put in the clubs that you've attended, right? So say for example, you want to apply to a bank, right? And you're a finance student. Now, banks are looking out for these kinds of things because they're more progressive. Say for example, I'll give a specific name, IDLC. They're a very progressive bank. They've realized that, okay, their potential is much higher when they have like young human resources constantly injected into the company. That brings in new ideas, it avoids stagnation, and it's pretty much the ultimate key to innovation. You have a bunch of young people in one office, it's great, right? So what are they keeping their eyes on? Whether or not you're in NSU Finance Club, right? That's a big one. Any finance club, anything to do with economics, they look at that stuff. Then they look at the skills that you claim to have, right? So if you're like, okay, I'm good at Excel, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, they see you're in finance club, there you go. That's approval right there. And it shows in, if you click through the NSU Finance Club on Facebook, then it shows exactly what they teach the students in finance club or what kind of projects they're interacting with. Okay, so say for example you're not a part of a club, but you're running some side projects, okay? Now if you're claiming that you have certain skills and you're pursuing a certain career or job, or after graduating you want a certain job, right? Having projects on the side which approve of your skills, that's also a really good way to do it. Okay, so these are all available on the profile. And you know, the thing that you can't control, job experience, most of the time when applying, that's the number one thing that people look at, that employers look at. But job experience is not necessarily the most important factor in terms of hiring, because like I said, a lot of it is to do with off CV activities, like what you did in university, how did you contribute, right? How did you prove your skills before you even got into the field? And these certain little things like projects and extracurriculars, they give insights as to really what kind of a person you'd be in the actual workforce. If you manage a team for a project, right, then the employers will look at your position like you were the team manager, and they're gonna think, okay, this guy has a little bit of leadership qualities, right? And if you have the leadership skill over there, then tick, right? It's approved already. So that's basically the main gist of what I was trying to say. And basically, yeah, sign up on Job and Hub and you'll be able to get a profile which will allow you to convey your actual results in university, not just through job experience and stuff. And you can check it out yourself. So yeah, sign up on Job and Hub, hit like on the YouTube channel, comment, subscribe, and share the videos. Thank you very much.